have most of the equipment that the people need. Even the equipment that they had, many of them were obsolete. But we said that status quo couldn't continue. We need to revamp the entire health sector. We started reorganizing the units. We started putting competent people into positions where they could perform optimally for efficiency. That, we believe, has brought in quite a lot of
infrastructure was lacking behind. We are also building quarters for doctors. You know, we build for a doctor a 2-bedroom, sitting room, everything for doctors. And we build houses also for nurses. We call them 1-bedroom flat. Within your bedroom, you have everything. And we have a central sitting system whereby they can sit together, you know, and chat and everything. People used to deliver together, but now we are building specific rooms for delivery. For one person, you access water, toilet, and everything in there. It's more decent, you know, and it's more secured. The environment is more conducive. So we are doing that. This is the innovative ideas. These are new models. This is world standards, you know, and I think Gambia is moving.
We have here this esophagoscopy. It's metallic esophagoscopy. It's rigid. With this material, we can remove a lot of foreign body here in Gambia. In esophago, it's very important for us because before we don't have this machine.
We have laid the foundation for a whole lot of improvements and achievements that inshallah will continue to make sure that the people of this country get the standard healthcare that we are all yearning for, to get it to a level that is world class. And government has the resolve, the commitment is there, and the know-how is there, and the strategies are there for us to follow those steps and get there.
The affairs of women, children, and disabled have always been placed in the back burner in government business and administration. But 2 years into the Barrow administration, this trend came to an end with the setting up of a full-fledged ministry to specifically administer issues affecting women, girls, and children in the country.
Traditionally, women have been marginalized in our society. How do we eliminate that? We have to empower them. In empower them, we have to train them. We have to set up businesses for them. That's why we have the Women Enterprise Fund. And that's why even now we have a Ministry of Women Affairs, standalone. It used to be with the Vice President, so it does not recognize.
The government created the Women Enterprise Fund for the economic empowerment of women. You may all be aware that the majority of women are small and micro entrepreneurs, and one of their challenges is access to finance. With the Women Enterprise Fund, women of Gambia now are at liberty to apply for funds to run their small and micro enterprises. It is another way also of alleviating poverty. We are all aware that poverty has a woman's face. By that I mean, the majority of the poor are women. We have reached out to 453 women's groups across the country, and that's 9,000 women beneficiaries. And we have disbursed $17 million to these women. All of this is funded by the government of the Gambia under the leadership of President Adama Barrow. More and more Gambian women have access to finance to run their micro and small enterprises. The important thing is here is that before giving out the funds, we train them in entrepreneurship, how to run a business, how to start a business, how to run it, how to separate what belongs to the business and what belongs to the family. So they are trained in all this. Playing with them, the money is put into their accounts, they withdraw the money, and then they start running their individual or group enterprises. This is important in several ways. One, it will alleviate poverty. Two, it will contribute in a very big way towards women's economic empowerment. And as I usually say, Women's economic empowerment is synonymous to their economic independence.
Abemu business la doli bije workata syndical ikatalota doli bije kawa soga ya wasila business ide ami woni doli bije fon janyin chako ko le ma fu ko ka sanyo bulo ka yese be araba le kabe kabil nata phone yeso one phone bit famba ya be bit la ni ko so lan bit ni wo ninka ilo ko ngajindi bal karera bal be sa wolto ngajindi bal ndiwol sangi ha be ka sambiti ko hanu omo ngadi nyola no safuno gebere ndola yin kafo nyabo kafo da nimmi ya kaira kuso yin kafo mo fa ka wote gambia ko naja bar ndol mon kafo je mi ya lon ko nyabo ta fe because mi mo beta dawoda ika hande na pour ya taranko.
The ultimate aim of this fund is to establish a women's bank, and we look forward to creating such a bank in the next 5 years. I have no doubt that this is possible because we have the support of the government, we have the support of President Adam Barrow. He had assured us that every year we get more funding for the Women Enterprise Fund, and we have no doubt that he can provide that to us.
Young people constitute the largest chunk of the country's population. And to ensure that this vital segment of the country's demographic is utilized effectively for the advancement of the country, the Barrow administration set out to galvanize the creativity and ingenuity of the youths into the country's development program.
There is a big skill gap in this country. That's why we want to train our people to be skillful, build their capacity.
January of last year, the president launched the youth revolving loan and the loan and the grant scheme up to the tune of $20 million. And so far we've had a lot of young people that have passed through NEDI and SDF, and they've been supported with some between 50,000 to 500,000 to either establish new businesses or to expand on the existing business. And that is also meant to ensure that, not being xenophobic, but encourage Gambians to take up the informal sector and be the one that will control the businesses that we have in this country. So all of these are initiatives that government have put in place in the last 4 or 5 years to ensure that our young people are supported, they are empowered, and they are trained.
It's important for us to have our youth employed because they are migrating. We don't want our youth to migrate. Our biggest strength as a country is our human resource. And the youths are the manpower. If they migrate from this country, it will affect our country in the future. We have to make sure we make good use of our youths.
One of the biggest achievements in the country is the qualification of our national team to the African Cup of Nations for the first time after so many decades of trial. It's based on a lot of factors, but one of the key factors is the investment, because sports without investment is never going to grow. President, having realized that, put up a special fund to support the sports, and that is what has been financing our national team, and that has contributed greatly towards the qualification of the Gambia to the AFCON next year in Cameroon. During the qualification period of the AFCON, government spent $105 million in just the qualification, just for the national team. That is different from basketball, different from volleyball. And that is almost close to what we have in our annual budget as a ministry. The Olympics participation cost government about $5 million. And currently, in preparing the team to go to the AFCON, the government have spent more than $25 million in all the training camps in Turkey, in Morocco, and then the upcoming one. So all of these things is not necessarily reflected in the budget, but there are expenses that are coming, and it comes from government funding.
Having the right education policy and program is fundamental to our country attaining its development objectives. President Barrow and his government places high premium on the academic and vocational education and training of young Gambians for them to effectively serve as the engine of growth of the country's economy.
We have established a lot of new schools running from ECD to senior secondary. In nearly all our government schools, we have ECD classes. In nearly all our government schools, we have ECD classes. In nearly all our government schools, we have ECD classes. In nearly all our government schools, we have ECD classes. In nearly all our government schools, we have ECD classes. In nearly all our government schools, we have ECD classes. In nearly all our government schools, we have ECD classes. In nearly all our government schools, we have ECD classes. In nearly all our government schools, we have ECD classes. In nearly all our government schools, we have ECD classes. In nearly all our government schools, we have ECD classes. In nearly all our government schools, we have ECD classes. In nearly all our government schools, we have ECD classes. In nearly all our government schools, we have ECD classes. In nearly all our government schools, we have ECD classes. In nearly all our government schools, we have ECD classes. In nearly all our government schools, we have ECD classes. In nearly all our government schoo in all our government lower basic schools, because studies have shown that early childhood education is very important for quality education. ECD education used to be the area controlled by the private sector, by private schools. And we know that beyond the Greater Banjul area, parents cannot afford to pay for private ECD education. So to address the equity issues in terms of education, the ministry decided to incorporate ECD education into all our lower basic schools.
We have achieved a lot as far as education is concerned. We have built the university. The phase 1 and phase 2 is finishing now. And we are trying to access funds, that is about 22 million, to finish the third phase. We have built the basic college. And we have provided a lot of scholarships to teachers just to build their capacity. Almost 60-70% of students going to the University of the Gambia are on scholarship.
Without the intervention of MOPSI, I wouldn't be able to pay for myself to come and advance my educational career, because it is definitely, it requires a lot, for an individual to put together to continue with your educational career.
We have about 432 students here enrolled in all programs. Out of these 432 students, 48% of the students are on scholarship on MRC Holland. MRC Holland gave them scholarship. And about 22% of them were teachers, and they are benefiting from the MOPSI scholarship. They are in-service teachers, either in the advanced diploma secondary or advanced diploma primary. And then another scholarship package is also around, that is SOS, those sponsors some students, and then area councils and other philanthropies. So that is about 10% of the students. So mostly here, it is about 20% of the students that are not on scholarship, and most of them are Islamic students. So once they have the requirement that donors look at, then they are giving scholarship. And what is most interesting is some of them are from the communities here, and they have been in their communities doing a lot of things in the communities. They have the requirement, but they have not gone to college. But when this college was established, I can give you typical examples where an imam in Galemanda, one Mr. Job, is enrolled in the college here. He's the imam there, and he is a student here. So that shows that many people have requirement, but due to access, it became a problem. But once the access was there, then it became easy for them. You go to Pasamas also, we have another guy there who is a family man who is having 2 wives here as a student, and is pursuing the diploma program. He also graduated, since we don't have the grade system. He graduated with Form 4 with very good results, and he's also enrolled here. He's also benefiting from such. So you can see people from diverse walks of life, from different communities in URR and CRR here are benefiting from scholarship. So I think the coming of the college here is very timely.
From 2017 to now, you go to CRR, and CRR North in particular, where we had a lot of out-of-school children. A lot of children were out of school. They started with temporary classrooms. Now you go to places like Kir Alasan, Tamba, and all those places in CRR North. You will permanent, beautiful classrooms that have been constructed with water supply, solar system, and all those. But those schools started with temporary structures, makeshift classrooms. But all that is what has increased the enrollment. If we had left those children out because there were no classrooms, we would not have been talking about enrollment increasing from 500,000 to about 700,000 or over 700,000 now. We started off with free girls education, but now it is free education for everybody, both boys and girls. Nobody pays school fees from grade 1 to grade 12. Children can go to school from ECD to grade 12 and not pay, and they're not expected to pay any fees. It's free education. To tuition-free education is what we have in the Gambia now. And apart from that, textbooks are also provided free of charge from grade 1 to grade 9, and for senior schools are paid $2,000 per student for their textbooks. For examination fees, some of us might understand that there was a time children or students would get up to an examination class, and because their parents cannot afford the examination fees, now even that has been waived. Nobody pays for grade 9 exam fees, and no student pays for their grade 12 examination fees. It's all free. So that is why everybody has the same opportunity, whether you are in the Greater Banjul area or you are in the remotest part of the country.
Most of these schools are in remote villages. They don't have enough housing for teachers. So that's why we are building now teachers' quarters for teachers. I think we have built more than 1,000 houses for teachers, and we will continue doing that, so that if you are living in a village, you will live as comfortable as somebody who is living in Serekunda. That's why we are talking about decentralization. Decentralization is not the location alone, but to make sure that facilities are the same. You access everything: clean drinking water, electricity, good housing, those kind of things. Decentralization cannot work if these things are not available. That means you create the environment. If you transfer somebody from Serekunda, you feel that if I move, it's the same thing. This is what we are trying to do.
By the time the Barrow administration came into office, the country's tourist industry was on the decline. The brief political impasse only made it worse. But due to the governance environment, the country's tourism sector sprung back into life.
As a government, we are faced with these challenges of rebranding our country internationally. The narratives of our country, we needed to redo them again and give it a different image. Number one we did was to make sure we improve on our governance, because governance is key for any investor in any country. And by making sure that our narrative become different overseas, that attracted people to put in their money in this country, because they know that when they are aggrieved, they go to court, they will get justice. And that is key in determining investment for any investor in any country.
Tourism is very important to our economy. Between 20% or 25% of our GDP is from tourism. And they create employment for about 200,000 people directly or indirectly. So tourism is so important, it's huge. When we came to power, tourism arrivals increased by 28%. With the OIC coming, we are coming to build the biggest and the first full 5-star hotel. And also with the conference center, we can use Gambia as a conference destination. So that's why I told you, no infrastructure, no development. Definitely.
We believe Ghana has seen continuous progression in terms of its ranking in the Freedom of Information Index. Also, for the first time in the history of this country, which in fact is a laudable one, the Gambia government came up with the Access to Information Law. This 5 years ago, in 2016, were not actually available to Gambians.
Sometimes people come to me, I think the freedom is too much, but we believe that we fought very hard to make sure that the media is free. And today, no doubt about that, the media freedom is really working in this country.
Well, from 94 to 2016, it was very hard for any journalist working in the Gambia, because during that time, journalists were killed, media houses were burned, and also you don't have the observer. But now all the media houses accredited are coming to State House to cover.
If you look at the media scene today, you look around, there is no journalist in our jails. There is no journalist behind the bars. There is no journalist who has been forced to run away from this country because of perceived threat or deliberate threat, or deliberate target by the government, to ensure that dissent is crossed. Rather, what we are doing is to encourage, our journalists to be the vehicle between the people and the government. And we have been having a very strong collaboration with the press union, with the civil society organizations to ensure that this process is enhanced.
The media is important to inform the people, accurate information, report as it is. I think that is very, very important. Because the Gambian people want to be informed. We will just advise them to be neutral. Let them report accurate information. We don't want Gambians to be misled. To me, they are our partners in development. You cannot develop without the media. So the media is very important. So we have a very important platform. We make good use of it. It's a very good trade. You can use it as a business, but genuine business for that matter. And you can help your country. And I think every media person or every Gambian should love your country. If you love your country, you make sure that you help your country. How do you help your country? Giving information that is correct.
President Adama Barrow is a very tolerant leader. He's somebody who understands that democracy comes with a price. And that price is that so long you are leading a democratic nation, people will criticize a lot of things that you do, even though some of those people have very little idea about, the processes. But this is the type of price that you pay when you commit yourself to democratic governance, when you commit yourself to democratic pluralism.
Everything that Barrow does, he will talk about the rule of law. If it is lawful, we can do anything unlawful we cannot do. And the atmosphere we created, we make sure that our police force respected, our security forces respected everybody. And everything that was done, and the country becomes safe.
If we had an autocratic president who doesn't listen, who thinks that it's dictatorship and all that, there is no exchange, then we will not have been able to accomplish what we accomplished during these 5 years, because it's a lot. And the only reason is because of His Excellency Adama Barrow. He played his role, he played his part.
Is one unique leader that I guess everybody want to work under him, because he doesn't control the ministries. He allows people to operate. Of course, if you want to deviate from his goal and aspiration, he will bring you back. But the most important thing is that ministers are kind of working in a free environment and be able to come up with ideas and discuss with him. And so far, for me being here for a year plus now, almost everything that we have come up with, I go to him, he will ask questions, but in the end, he gives us the approval to go ahead and do it. And we are appreciative of that kind of leadership, because that is what allows people to be innovative, to be able to think and be able to do that. Under the leadership of President Adama Barrow, there's a brighter future for the young people and the sports family in this country, based on the innovative way of financing that we are getting now.
We are going to have a vision, and the president is going to champion vision 2022 to 2050. I think Gambians have every right to be hopeful, especially the youth and women. We have been able to launch this youth and sports levy. And this youth and sports levy has been so instrumental in making sure that we have upgraded the performance of the youths at the national level, at the local level, everywhere. I would say it has an octopus effect. So we have a right to be confident. The president is very much combative in trying to address the issue of youth unemployment. He's combative to be able to address the plight of the farmers. Just look at the subsidies. We were subsidizing almost $200 million. This year we are going to, the next subsidy is $500 million. That is a significant amount. So you talk about youth, you talk about women, you talk about farmers. These are the three categories that I know the president gives a very, very high priority. So I think all, as the saying goes, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and I think we will reach there sooner rather than later. And the president is the main driver of the bus.
Without coming together, it will be difficult for us to develop this country. Our strength is unity. Let us be united as Gambians. I'm on the campaign trail, trying to report back to the people after 5 years. I'm taking stock. I'm assessing what we have been done for the past and what we have for the Gambian people, the future. But we have a lot for the Gambians in the future. We have the health insurance scheme. We have the fisheries project going on. And also, as our local representative, we're going to pay them salaries for the first time in the history of this country. And also, we are going to implement the salary review.
Yes, yeah. Check, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yes.
See, A1, 2, 2, 2. Yes, A1, 2, 2. Yes, A1, 2, 2, 2, 2. Yes, A1, 2, 2, 2.
Yeah.
No, so que se puede ver, ¿no?
I, Adam Barrow,
Do swear
of a new
Yes.
later.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yes. 212. Yeah. Yeah. 212. Nice. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Accept the verdict of the people.
Sí. Sí, sí, sí. Sí, 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 sí. 1, 2. Sí, 1, 2, 2.
Be moment numa, osupe da kugolen.
dalda yundale Gambia Mago momagia mume wallahi alda kera samulo de
Yes, hey.
Alors, assalamu alaikum. Mbadim faraton kolu. Ngalbe konto nyi wol hala jam farato fam. Alkal fatu so ko nga fale ko nyi mun tole kayra baleti. Nyi mu kayra baleti farato satewe. Faraton kolu atolle luntan lu kumandi because ikana loptano melo jang abe farato satolo kono jamu faratolti. President Barrow bila Dawda ali alon ko hadamadun Gambia no belaka bula noma lafta nga men understand tol faraton kolu wala munyinti lunta walunta nata jang inata tol kidi mandi inata president kidi mandi dukare alinga aldal tala nyamen drong ne lunta ngol nata alinga sidula dila tonya tol mu jati leti ne lunta ngol nata dukare ngal manene musuke alinga sirango di lunta ngol la inatan tolle kidi mandi ikana nyin kayra femba me lo nyin sate kono jang definitely lu momo bodana busumbala jamburu birikama Dawda inata faraton kolle kidi mandi pour ça understand wo nyama dukare ne luntangol nata alinga sidla di luntangol la yo ngal be tentu ngal jay
Janing musukana jama na janjunda Birinda da Senegal fanan President Musumao Vivian Wada Wala certificadina Ayanga ambassadeur di Azakazie Umar Bala Kapumolo wayo Azakazie Dia kasama sidama Doldada koldade Maninka baka boy bendung Bakari mani Musabadora NPP, National People Party, Gambia. NPP, National People Party, Gambia. NPP ari Gambia. Develop di Gambia. President Adama Barrow.
Seni itunga la sobero sendenu Fire la mojuve mi para kirim nga xam ne baax aduna ni taxi ba bu dee ñu para kirim nga xam ne baax ay da yow ñu para kirim seen yi daw bu kenn ay dama nga biye aduna ni taxi ba bu dee ñu para kirim nga xam ne baax ikana bizar boy sima yadwa nimbi mutenentilu mandan tenenna ikana bizar boy sima yadwa lonna le asata komari bale datal kolea sono ya de banoma duna fe mulu fula do ta sabale kinilo ala fa le kai ko dele be fula janna wallahi saballa julo fele muna be julo le man basiru dabo julo khay wabata bitole kine bisa Tandam baba dimna o basidu sungari ke mafele David fama somtinho fama basidu wallahi kinela manso Guinea-Bissau, Ikomari bale famoda nyindi kirada nimenke tamari muna bekele muna tinna de tamara nyinyama aninna jongunda ngalonu nyima baloro na oy ey fanyima sijoy ayo durukot unyima keda durukot ayo durukot unyima keda durukot dunia durukot unyima keda durukot
Is it morning already? Hello, good morning, everybody. We just want to let all of you know that we have a vaccination team as well on the ground. If you want to be vaccinated against COVID-19, the team is around. So we're creating that accessibility for anybody who is interested in having the vaccine. You can contact us, or we link you to the team, and they will give you a shot. Thank you very much. Ayo durukot, unyima keda durukot. Ayo durukot, unyima keda durukot. Dunia durukot, unyima keda durukot. Ugelle nyimadu, folzizad, badwa nyimadu, ngada dukaye.
Fansai mania, dangam fansai le, jare kamu itu damundi. Jare kamu mane paringko dia, siaka jamba bedakar. Mama joba tembani dimau, musubo jang sangkaragoy, wahai nangal deru. Jejal lageri la dilkuna la mini jasi kunjuru nyumna damundi ala nimma danjasi dolto Panda dinding godia, kere jaganya yo tudengo. Irua binala liye baila, aliya nyema de dunna, nyema bejola. La dinsuare jarang konoy dembatan bana niladamundi kasamada bo jarang ko tollo keba sama de derima jareta kanima fuloy tabani bojang ndar sidame seni mane tanjen ko diao Sankara mbaka buvama utose Makudu jamo sabi ingoni yao Kudu jam dema tunda damundi Dugare hinana ikanan tukoma Zambanyona Fansai mania, dengan fansai lei, jara kamu terdamundi. Nimmoye nyinya, imagine Walatinga aningan lo kunyima baroda nganyimwe lonna lenao iko mari bade famoda nyindi girada nimmenke tamari muna bekile muna tinna de tamana nyinyama aninna jongunda ngalonu nyima baloro na oy ey fanyima sijoy ayo durko unyima keda durko ayo durko unyima keda durko dunia durko unyima keda durko Vansay mania dangam vansay le jare ka momo itede da mundi jare da bu mane paringodia siaka jamma be Dakar mama joba de bandimao musubo jang sankarangoy waxayna ngalter Jejal la yeri la dilkuna la mini jasi kunjuru nyuna damundi ala nimma danjasi dolto Panda ding ding gonya, kere jaganya yo tujengo. Iru abina la liye baila, aliya nyema de dunna, nyema bejola. La din suare jarango noi Dembatan bana nyuladamundi kasamada bojarango tolludo keba sama de derima jareta kanima fuloe tabani bojang anda sidare seni mane tajen kodiao sankadamba kabuma tutose Makudu jamo sabi ingoniao kudu jam dema tunda damundi dugare hina ikanan tukoma zamanyona tunda damundi Vanzai mania
minimum 50% interest rates. Now we can access loan at 30%. But we are very hopeful that very soon Gambia will access loan that will attract 0% interest rates. We are working towards that.
Growing up in rural Gambia, President Barrow has lived through the experience of the near absence of utility services and suitable infrastructure in many parts of the country, particularly the rural areas. To address the vast development deficits in the country, President Barrow and his government came up with a national development plan. And out of the NDP master plan, President Barrow outlined key sectors that needed urgent attention. This led to a policy aimed at bridging the infrastructure development gap between the rural and urban parts of the country. President Barrow's No Community Left Behind policy is aimed at ending what he called the injustice of excluding certain parts of the country benefiting from national infrastructure and utility services. President Barrow's determination to fix the road deficit in the country, particularly in the rural areas, became one of his signature projects in his first term.
Infrastructural development was my priority, that is my background. Along the way, I came to understand that without infrastructural development, there cannot be any meaningful development.
The URR Ring Road and bridges stand out among these projects. Bridging the River Gambia between Basse and Wuli to connect URR North and South and end centuries-old suffering of people crossing the river in makeshift boats is huge. Besides the URR Ring Road and bridges that finally brought the country's vast eastern region into the national highway system, there remain several communities of the highways. President Barrow and his government have laid the foundation for the construction of feeder roads in the rural and urban areas.
We all know that when His Excellency took over, the main talk was about the National Development Plan, NDP. And the NDP was supposed to be donor funded up to $1.7 billion. And we went to Brussels, and there was all kinds of pledges. But for one thing and the other, aside the fact that it would have taken a long time to get the financing, the COVID happened and everything collapsed. So we could have said, well, we had this plan of the NDP. I mean, there is COVID, we should stop. You know, we should wait until, and then this 5-year office presidency would not have accomplished much. But he did not stop there. We did not stop there.
We have been able to increase revenue. We have been able to reduce the consumption. We have been able to redirect our resources, not for lavish spending, but these are critical areas that we have been able to make savings. We also have instruments now. That's what we call the innovative financing, in the sense that what we are now issuing, example, the bonds that we were issuing, the rates before, you're talking about 20-something%. Because we were able to issue bonds into the market, which was oversubscribed, it has gone down to single digits. These are the sort of new instruments that we're using in order to be able to finance our infrastructure.
Normally, when we talk about road project, we usually approach donors to implement, I mean, big projects or projects of, you know, amounts that are beyond a certain level. The problem here with the Hakalang and the Salum roads was that if we had gone the traditional way of going to donors and asking for financing, we would not have been able to start it.
The road network, very close to my heart, very important for that matter, because the road network is connected basically to everything we do in life. If you want to access the health facilities, there must be good network. If you want to access security, time is very important here. Trade, without good road network, trade will be difficult. If you look at the infrastructural development of these roads, you look at the bridges, let's say the Farafenni Bridge, the Senegambia Bridge. People used to spend 1 week, 2 weeks, they cannot cross the bridge. So if you look at that time, now you spend less than 30 minutes, 5 minutes, you come and cross. How much money have you saved? Because of the time it was consuming. I can give you one example. Blackstone, before the opening of the bridge, price of Blackstone rise to 120,000 per trip. Today, the trip is between 60 to 65,000. It have reduced by half because of the time. They used to travel twice only for the talk, 2 trips for the month. Now, a trip takes you maximum 2 days. You go today, tomorrow you come back. So you see, and in marketing, it's demand and supply. Now the supply is higher than the demand, so it will affect the price. That's why the price is coming down. That's why we liberalize the market also, so that there will be competition. So naturally, the market takes care of itself without government intervention.
I may be biased, but I am one of those people who believe that one of the reasons for poverty, one of the reasons for lack of development is lack of connectivity. You know, if, in other words, Africa is underdeveloped, most countries are underdeveloped because they are not connected. I mean, communities are not connected, and there is no free flow of people, goods, and services. And one way to remedy this is to provide roads, bridges, railways, all aviation connection. In fact,
people to see agriculture as a business, not only farming.
Unlike other sectors, President Barrow and his administration set out to revamp and transform the country's health sector from a state of total disrepair and decay.
When I came to power, I I think about 700 communities access primary health care. Today, about 1,000 communities access primary health care. And to bring health closer to the people, we said we have to build more health facilities. Right now, I'm building up to 24 health facilities, renovating up to 26 health facilities countrywide, and also to connect them, to help the people to access. That's why we brought in 80 ambulances. We are just having 65 ambulances countrywide. So now we have brought in 80 ambulances, and this is community ambulances. It is meant for the community, so that it can help the people who are sick to get to health facilities.
We inherited hospitals that did not have most of the equipment that the people need. Even the equipment that they had, many of them were obsolete. But we said that status quo couldn't continue. We need to revamp the entire health sector. We started reorganizing the units. We started putting competent people into positions where they could perform optimally for efficiency. That, we believe, has brought in quite a lot of positive change in the health sector.
We are going to expand, modernize, and design RPH to world standard facelift for the RPH, because we want to create the environment there. The infrastructure was lagging behind. We are also building quarters for doctors. You know, we build for a doctor a 2-bedroom, sitting room, everything for doctors. And we build houses also for nurses. We call them 1-bedroom flat. Within your bedroom, you have everything. And we have a central sitting system whereby they can sit together, you know, and chat and everything. People used to deliver together, but now we are building specific rooms for delivery. For one person, you access water, toilet, and everything in there. It's more decent, you understand? You know, and it's more secured. The environment is more conducive. So we are doing that. This is the innovative ideas. These are new models. This is world standards. You know, and I think Gambia is moving.
We have here this endoscopic, it's metallic esophagoscopy. With this material, we can